What's going on, everybody? It's Rob Brunson with Wallace Electronic Sales. We're back again with the electronic intervention. Today we have a very special guest. We have John Hanke, who's the Vice President of Sales for Hallmark Nameplate. He's here to talk to us about what Hallmark is, what they do, what it means to be a true U.S. manufacturer. We're going to talk a little bit about the NFL and Tampa Bay Buccaneers football. Obviously, I'm a Ravens fan, so we'll let him slide and bask in that Super Bowl glory. But, you know, we're going to get into that too. So I'm going to go ahead and bring John in. John, what's going on, man? How are you?
Hey, good, Rob. How you doing today? Thanks for having me on your show.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. I really appreciate it. This has been really fun to do this with our principals. As you know, Wallace represents Hallmark, and we have a great working relationship together. So I really appreciate you taking the time to come on. You know, I know this is something a little bit different. So
sure,
tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, a little bit about myself. I am a happily married man. I have 2 daughters and 5 grandkids. I was actually born, like a lot of people in Florida, I was born up north and came down here. A lot of people say, well, you know, when did you come to Florida? And my response is always as soon as I could. So I quantify myself as a Yankee by birth and Southern by choice.
Awesome.
I started my career right out of college about May of 1981, believe it or not. So it's May of 2021. So you got me on my 40th anniversary of working in manufacturing and you know what we do.
Perfect. That's awesome. So tell us a little bit about Hallmark and what it is that you guys do.
Hallmark by trade is a technical printing company.
Okay.
We don't print magazines or anything like that. We're not in that genre, but we are in the technical printing where the majority of the items that we print are either on plastic or they're on metal. Okay. Typically when we print, we'll print what we call reverse surface or back surface printing, where all the printing is done in reverse. So when you turn your product over, you have the substrate and material is on the top and the ink is on the bottom. So you can't scratch off the ink. It wears very well.
Cool.
Some of the other things we do here, we do have 3 full SMT lines. A little bit later in our talk, maybe we can buzz through our website and we can go through you know, some of that stuff as well.
Sure, absolutely. Well, if it's okay with you, I'm going to go ahead and pull up the website and we can take a little gander at that because it is a really nice website. Even though you guys are building another one, I think this one's already good. So the other one's probably going to be even better. So
I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, we're putting a lot of work and a lot of effort into it. Absolutely, Rob.
Awesome. Well, walk us through this bad boy, and you tell me where I should go if I'm interested in Hallmark.
Okay, so I think what you first want to find out is what you're looking for.
Right.
And so we have basically 4 core competencies here at Hallmark. If you click on the products tab and go to nameplates.
Sure.
This is so in that column that you just pulled down, there's four different core competencies. Well, like I said, we'll initially target nameplates. Nameplates are done. There's really a couple different. In my book, I categorize them as a functional nameplate or a decorative nameplate. It can be on plastic. It can be on metal. If you scroll down a little bit, there you go. Keep going in right there. So as you can see, as these are scrolling by. For a decorative nameplate, it could be your logo, it could be some keys, some buttons. The Bayliner there, for example, really is a decorative product branding kind of logo.
Okay.
And then if you scroll a couple more over to the right, you'll see also the WGS, the DRS. Those are, again, what I would call product branding or a decorative type of logo. Type of nameplate. The one right next to it, as you can see, has some 2D barcodes on it. It's got a QR code up in the corner. Actually has the customer's cage code number on it. And so it's a serialized nameplate. This one happens to be done out of metal. We can process the metal in 2 different avenues. One is direct screen printing on the metal, and
Okay.
the other is a process is what's called metal photo, where it's almost a photo process where we develop, for lack of a better term, the image onto the metal substrate.
Cool.
That's a that's great for outdoors. It's a very robust type of construction. We have some customers that make trailers that they put this type of nameplate, this type of construction on their trailers because it's
Right.
outdoors, it's in the snow, it's going to last. It's going to last. So,
Cool. And would something like this have like a UV rating because of if it's outdoor stuff, or
yes, we can. So to answer your question on the plastic side, absolutely, we can
Okay.
purchase pre-UV coated material.
Great.
There's also sometimes on the metal, if we're screen printing it, we can put a UV overlam on it.
Okay.
An over lamination. Inherently, the metal photo process itself it has all those type of additives already in it to
Okay.
be very, very robust in the outdoor applications.
Gotcha. Makes sense.
I think that's not too much more on nameplates.
Okay.
A lot of people call them stickers.
Okay.
But so there's your simplistic term.
Right. It's a glorified sticker. Yeah.
It's a glorified sticker. Yeah, it's the absolutely. So you want to shoot over to the graphic overlays?
Sure.
So we kind of we have our own terms, like every company has their own internal terms. A graphic overlay to us is kind of a nameplate on steroids.
Okay.
There might be embossed keys on it. If you could scroll down a little bit there, Rob.
Absolutely.
Yeah, go right. That's a good one. So in the green number 1 in the center, what we do is we would print either a translucent or a transparent ink.
Okay.
For LEDs, it could be either a 7-segment LED that's on a customer's board. It could be just a plain single functional RGB LED. Could be anything. But we have translucent windows that allow that light to shine through.
Right.
It also has a bit of a diffuser in it, so you don't see the component body behind
Okay.
it, but you just really see the light that's emitting out of those diodes. So
Gotcha.
a little bit lower to the right is what we would term embossed keys. There's many types of embossing. One thing here at Hallmark is that everything that we do is custom.
Okay.
There's nothing that we don't have a catalog. We don't have a room inside. People can come in and say, hey, I want 4 of those and 6 of those, wrap them up and tell me how much I owe. It truly is a custom business that we're in.
Okay.
Back to the overlay, we have right below that over there. Yep, there's some round circular windows. We can put a translucent white in there. Even an adhesive, if we roll the adhesive over the complete back, there's sometimes that would give enough translucency that it hides that component again behind the graphic overlay.
Gotcha.
And then the last one is cutouts. We have multiple ways that we can die cut the part.
Okay.
Die cut being the general term, kind of like Kleenex or tissue, but die cut, it could be die cut, it could be plot cut, it could be laser cut. We have a variety of different equipment, so we can pick the best process for the application and the quantity and so on and so forth.
Great. Cool.
That's really on the graphic overlays. We can go to the membrane switches. So you're going to look at these and say, well, geez, John, that looks like an overlay. Correct.
Yeah.
The difference between the overlay and the membrane is the overlay has no electronics to it. That's put onto a printed circuit board or put onto a bezel that has something coming up from behind it, some electromechanical subassembly that comes up from behind it. Membrane switches truly are the electronic interface or the user interface before how the user interfaces with the product. So you can see there's a ribbon tail that comes off of there that would plug into the main board on the customer product. I think the easiest way to describe this is for everybody to understand what it is look at your microwave, right? Your microwave in your house, you go up there, you hit popcorn, you hit enter, and all of a sudden the machine turns on and goes. That's the user interface portion that we can build, help design, use your design, whichever.
You know, they made that button because of people like me who cannot pop popcorn without burning it.
Absolutely.
It's impossible for me to do. You know, I feel like
And
the directions are always wrong.
with a potato. Yeah. I mean, the potato is a wonderful thing.
Yeah, that's right. So this is a really cool thing that we were talking about before we came on. It's kind of a front and back view of exactly what these things are. So you want to explain this?
Sure. So what you're seeing on the right-hand side of that of the slider is actually the printed circuit board portion. In this particular case, this product was built with a printed circuit board as a backer. We look at all the different requirements. Our biggest goal is really to understand what our customer or our prospect is trying to do.
Right.
How can we help? We've been around, Rob, for 60 plus years. We have thousands and thousands of products that we've designed, helped design. A lot of our clients come to us and have really good specifications.
Right.
And then there's the other half of them come and say, I know what I want. I don't know how to build it. Can you guys help us out? So in this particular case, the right side, as I mentioned, is the printed circuit board side of it. And then we print, so we do all that fabrication here as far as buying the board and doing whatever population we need to do here. And then we would manufacture the graphic overlay, put it together for them. If their requirement is to test it or program it or do anything like that, we have that capability in-house right here at Hallmark to be able to give them a turnkey solution that, for lack of a better term, is dock to stock, right? I mean, it leaves our dock, it goes into your stock, you don't do anything to it, you just pull it out and stick it on your production line.
Right. So it's a total solution, what we call it cradle to grave sometimes,
There you go.
Right. So really cool. I think this is a really cool graphic too, to understand exactly what it is.
Absolutely. Yep.
And then, that we could go down here, but we kind of already talked about this, but this is still a good example of how everything plugs in. And it's nice just to see that graphic where we can slide back and forth, knowing what's behind all this stuff.
What's behind these, right. And our printing capabilities encompass not only, ink as far as red, blue, green, yellow, pink, whatever color you want.
Sure.
It also includes conductive ink and a couple other types of, inks in that kind of series. So we're actually screen printing something that's conductive. In the membrane switch, there's a spacer layer that holds those two conductive layers apart. And when you push the popcorn button, you're closing that circuit and making that connection.
Right. Very cool.
And these can be terminated. Again, everything is custom. You say, hey, I want to put this in a ZIF header on my board. We'll terminate it for ZIF. No problem.
Right. Neat. I just love this thing. I can't get over that. Anyways.
It is kind of cool. I played with it a lot myself, actually.
So I guess the last one would be electronic assemblies by default.
Yep. Yeah. So interestingly enough, Hallmark had discussed with a couple different clients regarding overall scope of what we do, and this goes back quite a few years, and the decision was made that we are not only going to be able to supply you with membrane switches and printed circuitry and things like that, but we're also going to get into the electronic assembly business. Now this goes, like I said, goes back 20 plus years.
Right.
Currently, today, we have 3 full SMT lines. We have 2 AOI machines, which are automated optical inspection equipment. One is 2D and one is 3D.
Right.
We use those for inspection of the boards, component placement, solder joints, stuff like that. We have 3 selective solder machines. 2 are Rojas, 1 is tin lead.
Okay.
Board washing system. We have X-ray capabilities. We really have some impressive equipment for the size of the organization that we are.
For sure.
So our capabilities with those pieces of equipment, our capabilities include, we can either do it turnkey, which would be, hey, John, here's your Gerber file, here's my Gerber file, here's my bill of material, go.
Right.
Buy everything, do everything. You can use us as a labor center. A lot of people say, hey, you know what, I'm going to buy all the boards, I'm going to buy all the components, but I'm going to give it to you and you do your thing.
Gotcha.
No problem. We can do that. We built the IPC standards 1, 2, and 3.
And these are all the machines up here, yeah?
Yeah, those are similar, correct. Those are similar to the machines that we have in our facility.
Right. It gives you the general idea, though.
Gives you the general idea, correct.
Cool.
Yeah.
And as I mean, there's a ton of stuff here,
There's
through all the products. I mean, there's a lot to unpack,
Absolutely. And, when I went to school for mechanical engineering. So a lot of this stuff, I've been here at Hallmark just over 2 years now. And I can tell you, I learned more in the last 2 years and, about this kind of industry than I have my whole career. So it's kind of exciting. It's something new. And I just, I'm trying to make sure that I can answer all the questions, that our clients or our prospects ask us. I think, we run out of a 30,000-foot facility right here in Mount Dora in Central Florida. I think one thing to note about Hallmark is that, not only about that we do different stuff every day, it's the fact that we're small enough to react, but we're large enough to deliver.
Sure,
And
it's a great way to look at it.
A lot of times you'll go to a larger CM, for lack of a better term, somebody that can do these kind of box build turnkey solutions, and they look at your quantities and say, we're thank you, but we're really not interested.
Right.
That's kind of the Hallmark niches. We fill a lot of those gaps, and again, we're small enough that we can do some stuff probably quicker, a lot of times than the larger companies can.
Absolutely. And that's a big advantage to have nowadays for sure. So one thing that, I wanted to talk to you about, because, we have 20 manufacturers, right? And you are one of the few who are a true US manufacturer. And we're gonna talk about the elephant in the room that is COVID here in just a second, but it kind of ties all together. And I was, for someone who doesn't know what a true US manufacturer is, what is its advantages, explain that to the audience, exactly what that means to be a true US manufacturer and the things and the advantages, I guess, if you will, that you've seen because of that.
Yeah, that's a good question. Everything we do, like I said, we do right here out of our facility in Central Florida. Over the course of the last few years, especially, with the COVID thing that we were going through, technically, I guess we're all still going through it.
Right.
There was, a lot of things that, for lack of a technical term, got messed up, right? With as simple as shipping product and getting product here and there. We had quite a few inquiries and RFQs from customers, prospects that came to us and said, I usually do all this stuff offshore. I can't get my product. I can't get anything. Can you be the stopgap for me? Can you help me out? And there was a lot of cases that we were able to turn something in what would typically be a 4 or 5 week turnaround time in 2 or 3 weeks.
Right.
We put on extra shifts. We did the things that we needed to do to be able to help, the people that just flat out couldn't get their product. A lot of that is medical, right? I mean,
sure.
Hallmark is ISO 9001, 2015, and also 13485, which is the med device certification through ISO. So people recognize that they understand what that means in industry today. And they say, okay, I got to go talk to that guy because they have their systems in place to be able to support, what we need to do.
Right.
So I think there's, there was different things that happened in the previous administration with tariffs, and all that played a role into
Sure.
it. Kind of made the playing field, at least in my humble opinion, a little bit more even.
Sure.
So there was, you never want to say there's good things that come out of a bad situation, but typically I think, Rob, if you look, you can usually find something good that came out of a situation that, for all practical purposes, appeared to be a really bad thing.
100%. A lot of times when bad things happen, you find some opportunities in there, and you find ways to do things differently. That's business, that's life, that's family. And it's kind of across the board. To kind of touch on that point, we've seen this a lot too, where people just not being able to get product from overseas, that in and out of itself costs money. Right. Because if you're not making anything, you're not shipping anything, you're losing money day by day, hour by hour, minute by minute. So part of being you're one of, I believe, 3 or 4 true U.S. manufacturers that we represent. And we've seen a lot of success with that just because people can get their product, and that there's the value that you can put on actually being able to receive product. I don't even know if you can really, it's even, measurable, right? As opposed to saying, well, I'm going to have to wait, 12 weeks to get this from Asia or Europe or wherever, being able to get it from Florida and it get on a FedEx truck and be shipped to you in 2 to 4 weeks. I mean, the value of that is, it just can't be understated.
Agreed.
So you kind of touched on a little bit, just kind of some of the challenges with COVID. As far as Hallmark goes, did you want to elaborate any further on, was there anything specifically that when it all happened, you guys were like, oh man, we need to do X, Y, and Z? What were those challenges, and what did that look like for you guys?
I think it's simple to say that everybody has a challenge, right? In what's going on, right? No disagreement there. It was being with the certifications that we have, being with the industries that we serve. Hallmark did not close for one day.
Oh, that's amazing.
During this whole process, we're still going through it, right? We're still not. I feel a little bit blessed because we're in Florida.
Sure.
And right, wrong, or indifferent, whatever side of the fence you're on, we're pretty open down here. I mean, it just kind of is what it is.
Sure.
So I think the neat thing that I saw was that there was so many things going on in people's personal lives. And all the things they had to do, the kids being out of school, just the monstrosity of all the things that were affecting our day-to-day lives.
Exactly.
And the employees at Hallmark showed up to work every day.
That's awesome.
I'm proud to be their colleague. That speaks volumes for the integrity of the employees that we have here.
100%.
I'm just blown away by how we just kept pulling the rope in the same direction and trying to support our customers.
Yeah.
We print on plastic, right? I said that a little bit ago. You know what else they make out of plastic? They make face shields.
That's right.
We actually turned a section of our manufacturing facility into making face shields and donating them to first responders and to right down the road to the police department and to the fire department. We reached out to our rep groups, to your group, and said, hey, if your sister works in a hospital and they can't get the stuff, give me an email. Tell me who to send it to. We'll ship 25 or 30, face shields, and we'll put your name, a donation on behalf of Hallmark and Rob Brunson.
Yep.
There you go. Let us know how else we can help. So,
and I want to touch on that a little bit. So, Julie Serpinat, who is our marketing manager here at Wallace, her whole entire family's from up north, and her sister works in a hospital. You guys sent us face shields, and we got those up to her sister, and they were so appreciative for that.
Oh, that's cool.
And to touch on the other thing about the guys and the gals always showing up to work at Hallmark. I'll say this: I work with Tom Keith and I work with Tom Bush. I call him Tom Squared a lot, and I'll put this. I'm serious about this. Every single time I call those guys, they are in such a good mood, and they're always happy. They're always vibrant. They're just really happy people to talk to, and it's really pleasant, And this was through the pandemic. I've been doing this a year and a half, right? So the majority of my career at Wallace has been during a pandemic, right? Which is okay. We've learned a lot from it, and it's a good thing.
Sure.
But in the dead middle of a pandemic, I'd call up Tom Keith or Tom Bush, and they'd answer the phone and just be happy as can be, and that it's really helpful when you're going through something like that, to surround yourself with people like that, to get to work with people like that. And I'm not a customer, right? I'm here to help you guys sell your product and bridge that gap between customer and manufacturer. But, I'm sure for a customer's perspective as well, when you pick up the phone and you just talk to somebody who's just in a good mood, I mean, it changes so much. And, I completely agree with you on that. And, I shout out to your team for doing that. I actually did not know that you guys didn't shut down a single day. That's a significant accomplishment, and definitely something that you guys should be proud of.
Yeah, definitely proud of that, and proud of all the colleagues here. Like I said, it's for everything that was going on for everybody. To put 8-10 hours a day every day to work, it's
Absolutely.
Yeah. I'm proud to be working with this group here.
Oh yeah, sure. I would be too. I seriously, I didn't know that. I think that's really cool. That's a really cool story. So kind of touching on COVID a little bit, since all this happened, especially people like me and what I do, we've really had to adopt different kinds of technology, right? So one of the questions that I would have is, has technology, in the last 15 months or maybe over the course of 5 years, I don't know, you can talk about it however you want. Has that changed any of your processes? And if you've made adjustments during COVID, do you see any of that stuff sticking around?
Yeah, that's another interesting subject.
Yeah, sure.
So yeah, absolutely. By trade, you and I are road warriors, right?
That's right.
We're supposed to be on the road, not sitting in an office. So, yeah, definitely. The Zoom meetings, the team meeting, Teams, I think it's called.
Yep.
There's multiple things. We've been on Zoom meetings with some of your staff as a, hey, how are you guys doing? More than potentially project-specific subjects.
Sure.
I've made an effort to try to be in touch as often as makes sense with all of our rep groups out there, because the way that we do business has changed, and it's my opinion, it's probably changed forever. On an average, Hallmark would do, I don't know, I'm going to say probably 10 to 12 trade shows a year.
Wow.
We haven't done any.
Right.
I actually walked a trade show a couple weeks ago. It was in our backyard. It was in Orlando, one that we typically did every year, but we've elected to forego them, at least initially, but still walk them to see what the heck is going on out there, right?
Right.
So, I've been doing trade shows a really long time. I walked the trade show. I know half of the exhibitors there.
Sure.
And, so I've solicited feedback from them, and they said, well, there was, some people said it was good. Some people said it was light.
Right.
It used to be you go to the trade show, you visit customers during the week there also. You go out to dinner a couple times, you do that kind of thing.
Right.
I honestly believe, Rob, that may be a thing of the past. I don't know.
Right.
It's more of my generation, for lack of a better term.
Sure.
That was so accustomed to doing those year after year after year, and seeing the same customers and some new prospects come down the road. or down the aisleway, I should say, of the show. So yeah, definitely those couple things have changed the way that we do our business. You had mentioned we're building a new website. So we've solicited the services of a local company here, and they are building a new website for us. They are also helping us with our digital marketing.
Cool.
And they're also helping us with our SEO optimization.
Nice.
Couple of these terms I'm throwing out, I just learned because I'm
SEO is really important. SEO is really important.
But it sounded really good, didn't it?
Yeah, no, you sounded exactly like you knew
what
you guys were doing. I would have been sold. That. You gave yourself away, but everyone would have been sold. So no, but that's all great stuff, and kind of to touch on your point of the trade shows, as representatives, we have an organization called ERA, and usually we have an ERA convention. It was in Texas, what would be close to 2 years ago now. And this year we ended up doing them virtually, and it went really well. I don't think it's, there's nothing like sitting across the table from somebody, right? It's an impossible thing to mimic. Teams calls are close, but the whole virtual trades, the whole virtual ERA thing was really well done, and I enjoyed it. I think at the same time, most people would admit who are part of that organization that they're ready to get back and, see each other again. Cause most of those people are friends. I'm the new guy, right? I'm the little baby of the group, but most of those people have known each other for 10, 15, 20, 30 years. So not being able to forget the part of working together, but not being able to see your friends is tough for people. So I agree. I think it'll be interesting to see how those events, if you will, kind of unfold as the years and the go by. So very good. I agree with you on that as well. So I want to talk to you about leadership and how leadership really played a role for your company through this pandemic. And, we can even talk without the pandemic, just the culture of Hallmark and how leadership is so important for the foundation of y'all's company.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think, leadership is obviously very important, no matter when or where it is, obviously,
sure.
Right? But I think our leadership through the pandemic era and we could quantify leadership as not only just the ownership,
right?
The gentleman that owns the company. That was huge for us. It was. I think they did a wonderful job of keeping us all together, keeping us focused on what was important. And, a couple of the most important things were obviously you need to take care of your family.
Right.
That was broadcast to all the employees by ownership here, by leadership here, is that, you need to take care of your families and we need to take care of our customers. That is probably one, if not the most important thing for our leadership here is customer focus.
Sure.
We understand that without customers,
it's tough to run a business.
It's kind of hard to run the business.
That's what they tell me.
Yeah. And we also know they very rarely, I have not seen any today come knocking on our front door.
Right.
So, there's that level of effort associated with that as well. But I think, as best as we could, leadership really held us together through all of this. And on top of it, as I mentioned, we still donated face shields. Yeah. So on top of all the other stuff going on, our leadership, our ownership recognized, hey, we have an opportunity that we could even help people in a different way.
Right.
So it just kind of gives you a little warm fuzzy that, you're in the right place.
Absolutely.
That everything was going well. But, and I know for a fact, I have no idea what they were. I can tell you for a fact, there must've been some difficult decisions that were made throughout the whole thing, no matter what they were.
Sure.
And I like to joke with people that, most of the time I'm happy that I sign the back of the check and the front. So,
that's right. That's exactly right.
A little less stressful for you there. So.
That's true. Well, I think that's awesome, man. So I wanted to ask you kind of about young people, right? Like people my age, who are starting to try to figure out what kind of career they want to get into, what they're interested in. So let's talk about your role in sales. You know, if you were going to tell a young person, hey, this is why you should get into sales, what's the reason?
Wow, come to the dark side of sales, huh? Okay. I can tell you what I get out of it.
Okay. Yeah.
And so really my role, the way that I look at my role, probably a couple cliches here, but you know, I try to first and foremost, and what we instill here too, especially with our sales team here, is understand what they're trying to do. Right? Fundamentally understand where they're going. They can tell you I need this, but we need to ask enough questions to understand at the end of the day, this is really where I'm trying to get to. And so, you know, my job, my role is to make that understanding clear, and also to solve their problems. Like I said, there's a lot of customers that come to us have great specs, and other ones just say, hey, I got this new gizmo and I know I need to put something that I can push some buttons on. That's about what I know. You know, I think, you know, the times that I've enjoyed most in my role is sitting across the table. Well, of course, it's been a year since I've been able to do that, but sitting across the table, talking to the prospect or talking to the customer, and understanding and figuring out how I can help them. I mean, really, it's as simple as that, Rob. It really is. You know, at the end of the day, a little cliche, I want a happy customer.
Right.
Because I know that with a happy, satisfied customer, the best possible praise they could give us is another order.
That's right.
You know,
and that only happens by you solving a problem.
Absolutely. I mean, we're not the only ones on the block that what we do, right?
That's true.
It's like when I go buy a car and they tell the salesman, I can buy a car from anybody. It's up to you whether I buy two from you or not.
That's right. Perfect. Yeah. So I agree with that, you know, and that's part of the reason I really enjoy it. You get a certain sort of gratification from really being able to help someone solve an issue that they're having, right? Because if everything's all going smooth, you know, odds are my phone doesn't ring. You know, most of the time when my phone rings, I'm always doing customer outreach and stuff like that. But when a customer calls me on my phone, that means, there's something going on. I need your help. And then you get a nice little sense of gratification whenever you're able to solve a problem for somebody. And I agree with you on that. It's a lot of fun. You know, it's a great career to have. You know, like I said, I've been doing it for about a year and a half, and it's been during a pandemic. I'm still having a really fun time. So now we're going to get to talk about something that I know you will be happy to talk about. And that is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I heard they won. I heard they won something, you know, and I heard they returned everybody, which is unheard of for a Super Bowl champion. You know, usually they get poached. So if you watched my last interview with Scott Lindbergh, he's a Broncos fan. So we were talking about Teddy Bridgewater and what would happen if he got traded, and we ended up turning that into a clip. So what I thought I would do with you today, and I didn't tell you we were going to do this, but I thought I'd bring up the Tampa Bay Buccaneers schedule. Since it released yesterday, it's timely.
Yeah,
right?
Yes, it was perfect. Okay.
I figured what we'd do is we would play a little game, and we would go through the schedule, and you can tell me if you think you're going to win it, and I'll tell you if you think you're going to win it, and we can revisit this after the season's over, and we'll see how it worked out. So let's go ahead and start running through it, because I loved y'all's draft. I love the fact that you guys returned everybody. Y'all should probably be the favorites in the NFC, except maybe those guys down there during you guys play week 3, they might have something to say about that. But so Dallas, y'all going to win that game, or are you going to lose that game?
No, we'll win that game. I don't think they got much of a defense.
Yep.
The other reason is because it's my son-in-law's favorite team.
Yeah.
So I hope he takes the time to watch this clip, because the last time we all went together to a game, a Buccaneer Cowboy game in Tampa, Dallas won.
Right.
So the majority of obviously my family is Buccaneer fans, and he's the Lone Ranger out there with Dallas. So now we'll take Dallas week 1.
Yeah, I'm going to say you guys are going to win, and you guys are going to win big. So week 2, Atlanta, win or loss?
these interdivisional games are always so tricky.
Yeah.
But I'm not. I think a lot of people were surprised with our defense last year. I wasn't so much surprised with it because I knew they just need a little bit of time to gel.
Yeah.
You hold Kansas City out of the end zone in a Super Bowl. That says something about your D.
It
and
does.
by the way, Tom Brady doesn't play defense.
Yeah.
So
Devin White's the second best defensive player in the NFL.
Yeah.
Behind number 99 for the Rams. But Devin White's incredible. I'm going to say you guys are going to beat Atlanta.
Yeah, I'm going to say we're going to beat Atlanta as well. Yeah.
All right, so we might disagree on this one. Okay, so last year, and I'm sorry about this, I had the Rams playing in the Super Bowl. Even with Jared Goff, I thought they were that good of a team. Now that they've added Matt Stafford, I'm going to take the Rams to beat you guys in Week 3. And it's in Los Angeles. So what say you?
Huh? Yeah. That one's a toss-up. That would absolutely could go either way.
Right.
I got to root for the Bucs. I got to vote for the Bucs.
Hey, if you end up going 17-0, I'm not going to be mad at you. I understand.
Yeah.
All right, so we all know what's going to happen in this game.
Yeah. There'll be a lot of cry. I got a lot of dear friends up in the New England area, so yeah, we'll knock.
This is going to be a big win. Tom might throw 7 touchdowns this game.
He may just to make them all mad. Yeah.
Right. All right. So Week 5 at Miami. I'm not as high on Miami. A lot of people like Miami.
Yeah.
I'm not that high on them, man. So I'm going to give you guys the W on that one.
Yeah, I would go with us for that. We could definitely start 5-0.
Yep, I agree. I think the one challenge is going to be the Rams game.
Yep.
Week 6, Philadelphia is terrible.
Yeah.
They're terrible.
No problem. Yeah, no problem. I say that, with a grain of salt. But.
Give a W here. So Week 7, Chicago. Now, here's my caveat for this. If Justin Fields is the starting quarterback, I'm going to give the edge to Chicago. The worst game that the Bucs played last year was against Chicago. And in my opinion, I could be wrong. We've never seen him play an NFL snap, but I love Justin Fields. And I think he's obviously 20 times better than Mitchell Trubisky.
Right.
So I'm going to give the Bears the edge in this game. If Justin Fields is starting, there's a huge caveat, right? If it's Andy Dalton, you guys will win by 30. But I don't know if it's going to be that point. You taking the Bears, or are you going to stay with the?
I'll stay with my Bucs.
Okay, home with the homers. All right, New Orleans is going to be terrible. I think Jameis Winston, Taysom Hill. I don't care who you roll out there. I don't like where New Orleans is headed. I'm not a fan. So I'm going to give you guys a W there.
Yeah, and one quick comment on that one, Rob, is in 2002 when we won the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
We lost to New Orleans twice during the regular season.
Yep.
This year, we lost to New Orleans twice during the regular season.
It's true.
So I don't know if I'm hoping we lose both games to them this year.
Yeah. Well, see, what's scary about the Buccaneers, right, is at the beginning of the season, you guys struggled a little bit, but you didn't have any chemistry, right? And then towards the end of the year, you guys were hammering people. The closest game you guys played was against the next team, and that was Washington. That's the closest game you guys played. So
we were 7-5 last year.
Right.
We were 7-5 and went on our run.
Right. And I just think the chemistry is going to – because, again, you guys brought everyone back. It's not like you're having to find that chemistry again, and so I don't know, man. You guys are going to be tough. But I'm still going to give you the edge over New Orleans.
Okay. I'll take that.
Washington, I'm taking Fitzmagic. Ryan Fitzpatrick is my guy. He's won me fantasy football games before, so I'm going to take
I love that
the
guy.
Redskins here.
Yeah.
You're going to stay with –
I won't take the Redskins, but I love Fitzpatrick. Fitzmagic.
Yeah, I love Fitzmagic. Harvard guy, one of the few Harvard players in the NFL.
Doesn't he have like 37 kids or something like that, too?
I think that might be Phillip Rivers, but Ryan Fitzpatrick might have 37 kids who he doesn't know about.
Yeah. Oh, there you go.
The Giants are awful. You guys are going to win that game.
Yeah.
I think we all agree on that. This will be interesting. I think Indianapolis is a sleeper team to make the Super Bowl if Carson Wentz can figure out what he's doing again. And since it's in Indy, I'm going to take the Colts on this one. I'm trying to have a little parity here, So right now I only have
a trip up game in here for sure. Yeah, I would. Yeah.
So I have you guys only at 4 losses right now. So that's pretty good. Right now I got you at 8-4. Atlanta again. I don't see you guys losing to them. They're just not that
No,
good.
I don't see that either. Yeah.
So Buffalo, I like Buffalo a lot, but it's in Tampa.
Right.
I'm going to say Tampa on this one. However, I do think Buffalo has one of the best coaches in the NFL. Sean McDermott is wildly underrated. But I just, it's weird, you know, quarterback, like Josh Allen's a great quarterback, you know, but quarterbacks like Josh Allen just don't beat Tom Brady. I feel like those guys never beat Tom Brady, you know? So I just can't do it. You going to go with the Bucs on that one too? Oh, is this going to be the one slip up?
That could be a trip up game for us. Yeah, of course I'll go with the Bucs. I vote even in the football pools. They go, you pick the Bucs. I go, I can't root against my team. It's not.
I'm gonna put a note in here that you were a little worried about the Bills, so we can go back.
Worried about the Bills.
Okay, it's a fair team to be worried about in your defense.
And that deep in the season, we don't know who's going to be still time. So
yeah, that's true. So the Saints, again, I just don't think they're that good, man. Like, I just don't. So
I think they'll at least take 1 out of 2 just on something weird that happened or
division
something.
Stuff. Yeah. Sure.
Yeah.
So the Panthers, so you got Jets. This is one heck of a way to end the season.
That's a
Panthers,
thing,
Jets, Panthers. Tom Brady might be sitting on the bench on week 16. You guys might just be cruising.
He could be, yeah.
So this looks like 3 wins to me.
Right. I'd agree.
All right. So
I'd agree with that.
So I've got you down for 4 losses on the season. I think 4 or 5 losses, and there's a 17-game schedule now.
Right. Because when we won the Super Bowl in 2002, we were 12-4.
Right. So
we finished the season with. So I'll take the 4.
So I got you at 13-4.
But I'll take the under on the 4.
Okay. Oh, he's taking the under on the bold.
Oh yeah.
All right. So we've got that locked in. So we'll review this, come February.
Sounds good.
Well, awesome. So what I wanted to do before we get out of here is I wanted to let you kind of show everyone how to get in touch with you. Right. So if someone wants to get in touch with you, get in touch with Hallmark, they need a quote, they want to check out a nameplate, they want to check out a graphic overlay, membrane switch, whatever. How do they go about doing that? I'll bring back up the website so you can kind of show them exactly how you would do it. This is my first time trying to get in touch with Hallmark. What do I do?
Yep. Well, up there in the top banner, contact us, get a quote.
Seems pretty intuitive.
Right. And pretty much every page, Rob, that you end up on should have an icon on it that says request a quote.
Yep.
Again, we do so much work here when the client needs help. I would say that's probably a higher percentage than when they hand us a data package and say go.
Right.
So I'd never be scared to say, hey, how can you guys help me out? I know what I want to do, but I don't know how to do it. And so this is probably the easiest way, is the form. Those forms come in, myself and our inside sales manager get them. We're the first 2 people to get them. And then what we do is we go through that. We verify that is a fit for our business model, make sure we can do what they want to do. Sometimes because we do nameplates, sometimes we'll get an email from somebody that says, I need a plaque for my dog's urn. And while we'd love to help out with that, there's more cost-efficient ways to go about that. So we suggest, maybe go to your trophy shop or something like that.
Absolutely.
But few and far in between of those, there's a lot of things, part of what we were talking about before too, Rob, of helping the customer is, if they're young, they may say, hey, okay, that's great. Thanks for helping me. Anybody that does sheet metal? Anybody that does, blow molding or whatever? All those seeds that I can plant and I can give them just means next time when they have a project and they go, crap, I don't know what to do with this. Oh, you know what? That Hanke guy over at Hallmark, he pointed me in the right direction last time. Let's give him a buzz and see what they can do.
Right. And one thing I'll touch on about this, request a quote thing, these things are great. We get these as well as they come in for people in our territory, right? So if you're an engineer out here and you're watching this, let me tell you something that is always a question, is always very helpful for Hallmark. Send us a picture so we know what we're looking at and we know what it looks like. A lot of times we get these requests and they're pretty detailed, but nothing works better than a picture. And whenever I talk to Tom Keith, Tom Bush, either one of them, when we have a picture, everything just moves a lot faster. Is that that's a fair statement, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. If you have a membrane switch and you say, I need to make this membrane switch, but the company that did it, for whatever reason, I can't get it. Send me the switch.
That's even better.
You know what I mean? We can look at your graphics. We have a color spectrometer. We can match, whatever, if it's, a coffee mug or if it's grandma's apron or whatever it happens to be. If there's a specific color that you require, we can match that. Our process says that as soon as we match that, we're going to send that chip to you. Because in our world, with ISO and all the other requirements that we hold ourselves accountable to, everything we do gets approved. There's nothing that goes through this plant without being approved by you, the customer, to make sure. I always like to say the worst thing that I can ever have is a surprise.
That's right.
I don't like surprises.
I know that's
I
right.
Make sure when you open up that box, you don't go, what the heck is this? That's not what I ordered. I've had that happen before.
Right. Perfect.
So, you'll learn a lot from those kind of things.
Well, this has been a lot of fun, man. I appreciate you coming on. And, again, guys, the website is hallmarknameplate.com. Don't go to hallmark.com. I'm going to assume that might take you to the card shop. You don't, we don't want that. So go to hallmarknameplate.com. You can check out all the products. You can contact them to get a quote, send pictures. If you have a sample, send a sample. John and the two Toms, I'm sure there's other people involved, will get you squared away. Hopefully maybe next year we'll both finish in first place and the Ravens will get to play the Buccaneers, and maybe I'll make a trip down to Florida, or you can make a trip up here, and we'll go to the game together.
That sounds like a plan.
Yeah. So again, man, thanks so much. I really appreciate it. We'll talk soon.
Sounds great.
Thank you, sir.
Appreciate it. Everybody.
All right, guys, that was John Hanke from Hallmark Nameplate. Again, go check out the website. It's hallmarknameplate.com. They can help you out with all your nameplates, all your membrane switches, all your graphic overlays. They even do the electronic assemblies, the PCBA stuff. Go check it out. They're a really great company. I know you heard what he said. I promise you guys, these are some of the happiest guys on planet Earth. So go check them out. With that being said, I'm Rob Brunson with Wallace Electronic Sales. This has been the Electronic Intervention. Thanks so much for stopping by. We really appreciate your time. Thanks, everyone, so much for watching the stream. It's Rob Brunson with Wallace Electronic Sales. We want to provide you and your company with quality and competitive solutions. We don't care if you're a small OEM, a medium-sized OEM, or a large OEM. We have solutions that we can provide to everybody. Feel free to drop me an email at rob.brunson@west-inc.com. Again, that's robbrunson@west-inc.com. You can also check out our full OEM line card on our website, and that's at west-inc.com. Again, that's at west-inc.com. Thanks so much again for watching the stream, and we look forward to talking to you soon.